Good morning, everybody. This is Dwayne Shoemake, Coordinator of Employment and Community Engagement for the Division of Developmental Disabilities, and thank you for participating in this morning's call on benefits planning stipends, building provider capacity. For today's webinar, what we will be doing is we currently have all the phone lines muted, so if you do have questions, please post those in the chat box. If you would, please select everyone as the recipient of your message. That way, if you have everyone as an option, if not, please select either presenter or all panelists. That will ensure that I'm able to see your questions. We have about a 25-minute presentation, and then we will be opening it up for questions and answers from each of the attendees. So once again, thank you for your participation, and we will get started. Sorry, just a little technical glitch there. I'm trying to enlarge the screen best for everybody. Okay, so the objectives of today's webinar is to, one, just to increase understanding of benefits planning provider requirements for the benefits planning service definition that is currently in the waiver application renewal. The second objective for today is just to review the process and protocol that Missouri Division of Developmental Disabilities will be using in building benefits planning capacity. And then our third objective is to actually recruit potential students and providers who may be interested in participating in credentialing to be able to deliver the benefits planning service. What I would like to note is that today's objectives do not include a review of the benefits planning service definition. It also does not include any overview of all of the requirements of that benefits planning service definition. As we are still waiting on CMS approval of our waiver application, we are not addressing those questions until we know what has been formally approved by CMS. But again, today's webinar is about developing capacity and helping providers achieve the type of credentialing and certification that would be needed in order to deliver this service. So just to start off, some of the things that we do know through Missouri is that work leads to increased income. We also know that work does improve individuals' self-esteem. We know that it also is a key factor in the social determinants of health. Individuals that work have better physical health and have better mental health, and they also report better quality of life outcomes. Through the Division of Developmental Disabilities and our work through the Empowering Through Employment initiative, we want to ensure that people who want to work are able to work. We continue to know through our national core indicators that about 51% of individuals receiving waiver services express a desire to work. However, we also know that the number of individuals who are actually working is far lower than that percentage. One of the major obstacles that we hear from individuals and families and support coordinators is the concern about earned income and its impact on benefits. It's for this reason that the division has developed the benefits planning service definition to ensure that all individuals are able to access benefits planning in a just-in-time approach, whether it be through one of the work incentive programs available through Paraquad or Missouri Protection Advocacy, or through a fee-for-service as part of our waiver service definitions. So we do know that more Missourians could be working. We also know that families and individuals and support coordinators and providers all discuss how individuals can go to work, but it also can be very complicated in understanding the cash benefits and the impact of earned income on medical benefits. Many individuals do know that there are safety nets available to individuals called work incentives, but they still continue to struggle in understanding how to utilize those work incentives and when to best access those work incentives. In Missouri, as I noted, we do have a great partnership with our work incentive planning programs that are located at Paraquad, as well as Missouri Protection and Advocacy. So as we developed our benefits planning service definition, we are not wanting to supplant any effort and activities that are occurring through Paraquad and Missouri Protection and Advocacy. To the contrary, what we're wanting to do is support those individuals who may not yet be appropriate for Paraquat and Missouri Protection Advocacy who may be early explorers and looking at employment pathways, needing some basic information on impact of earned income on benefits and potential solutions to work incentives. We want to be able to work with those individuals and begin to help them identify career pathways and remove this myth about earned income and benefits to where individuals are able to lead a better quality of life. So as I mentioned earlier, and for most of you on the call today, you will understand that for individuals, there seems to be this pit of alligators who are waiver recipients and maybe receiving Medicaid services and SSI and SSDI. There's this pit of alligators that stands between them and their destination. And what we hope to accomplish with the benefits planning service definition is to build that bridge to help individuals achieve their outcomes. So currently, as I mentioned, we are still under construction in the fact that we have not received final approval from CMS on our waiver definition. So we are still in that building mode. We anticipate that being approved. We have not had any questions from CMS about that benefits planning service definition. But just to be clear, it is not yet in place, but we are anticipating it to be approved. So we're not only have we been building this waiver service definition, we are wanting to go ahead and begin to build the capacity of waiver provider who may be able to meet the needs of waiver recipients. And what we have done is developed a strategy and approach that's replicating success that the Division of Behavioral Health has had with their community mental health centers. So the strategy and approach that we will be using, again, behavioral health has been using for approximately 7 to 8 years now with great success. So really the blueprint for this is ensuring that if we are providing a benefits planning service through waiver funding, that we have certified and credentialed staff delivering this information. Nationally, there are 3 primary pathways in getting certified or credentialed. The first of which is as a certified community work incentive counselor, and that actually is a title and certificate that is designated for our WIPA programs that's developed through Virginia Commonwealth University, and that title is singularly retained for those WIPA programs that have contracts with Social Security. Also through Virginia Commonwealth University, community providers can be certified as community partner work incentive counselors. However, with the VCU program, they often have an inability to meet the needs of community providers, and it's been difficult for many community providers throughout Missouri as well as the nation to get certified through that pathway, as VCU's primary priority is to meet the needs of the WIPA programs that are supported through Social Security dollars. So we get to our third option for certification and credentialing, and that is as a work incentive practitioner. The work incentive practitioner is a credential that's issued by Cornell University, and they have open enrollment for the training courses 3 times a year. So what Missouri will be doing is working with Cornell University's Yang and Tan Institute on Employment and Disability. They offer a certification course that is 17 webinars. Each webinar is 90 minutes. Upon completion of those 17 webinars, individuals will complete a written exam. They have 1 week to complete that written exam. And at that point in time, they are issued a provisional certification. Once they have that provisional certification, they work 6 months in delivering benefits planning services. And then they submit file reviews to Cornell University, and Cornell staff will then review that file work. And upon successful completion of that file work, then a full certification is issued. That certification will enable an individual to keep that credential for a 5-year period. And then within that 5-year period, the professional will need to access 60 hours of continuing education units, which are made available through the Yang and Tan Institute at no cost. And that will enable individuals to continue to keep their ongoing certification. So the next offering of this program is in just a matter of a few weeks, June 2nd to July 12th. The courses are available Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 12 o'clock p.m. until 1:30 p.m. Central Time. The next course offering available through the Yang and Tan Institute is September 9th to November 9th. Again, 12 o'clock p.m. to 1:30 p.m. And for the fall course, it's a little less compressed. It's available 2 days a week, and it's a 8-week program as opposed to a 6-week program that is available during the summer. So the certification cost and participating through the Yang and Tan Institute is $1,525 for the course. Missouri has negotiated with Yang and Tan Institute a discounted rate for providers who sign up through our protocol. The tuition would actually be $1,220 instead of $1,525. With the protocol that we will be talking about here in just a few seconds, the division will be willing to reimburse providers 50% of the cost for a participant who successfully completes the exam portion and accomplishes that provisional certification. To be eligible for the reimbursement through the division, what participants would need to do is they would need to complete an interview with a representative of the division's employment team. That interview is nothing that's going to be real complicated. It's just simply ensuring that any person who's wanting to participate in this program, that their agency has a desire and a willingness to add benefits planning to their contract. It's also ensuring that individuals understand the rigors of the course and that they have a basic understanding of SSI and SSDI. We want to ensure that individuals are successful in completing the program. So we just want to ensure that as part of the interview process, that folks have a good understanding of what they will be learning as part of that 17 webinar course. So individuals, upon completion of the interview, they would also need to sign a participant agreement letter. The letter simply is an attestation indicating that the individual will attend the 17 webinars, will sit for the exam and complete the exam, and has the intention to complete the file review to get full certification. The other part of the agreement is making sure that the individual participant supervisor is supportive of their participation, because we do know that the 17 webinars will take individuals kind of offline from their normal day-to-day practices. And once again, we do want to ensure that individuals are going to fully participate through the program. The Division of Behavioral Health, as I noted earlier, has been doing this for about 7 to 8 years. In that time, they have sent between 75 and 100 individuals through the training program. And the most recent information I've heard is they've only had 1 individual who did not successfully complete the program. So again, if we properly vet folks, help individuals understand the type of content that they're going to be learning and the rigors of the course, we really do hope that we have a near 100% completion, as the primary thing we want to do is, build the capacity of providers in Missouri to be able to support the needs of individuals. So if someone is interested in participating in the certification course and they work with a provider agency that may be interested in adding the benefits planning service definition, what I would do is encourage you to contact Sandy Kaiser. Her email is here. Sandy will conduct the initial interview, provide participants with the certification form to be completed. She will share with the individual the discount code for that provider agency to get the discounted tuition rate. And then she will also enter the individual into a log form for us to track completion. And then we would reimburse the 50% of cost at the completion of the exam. We are currently limiting this to 1 individual per provider agency. I know we have had some providers that have indicated they would like to have many staff go through this. We're wanting to ensure that every provider has an opportunity to participate in this. We do anticipate not only doing it for the summer and this fall, but we also anticipate offering the same incentive next January during the course, as well as the course next summer. So we do want to ensure the budget that we've set aside for this is available to support the maximum number of providers with having a certified and credentialed staff person. So any benefits planning presentation wouldn't be I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the word I'm looking for. But it's always important to let folks know that it's always important to connect with a benefits specialist when needed. You know, we want to ensure that we are dispelling this. We want to ensure that we're optimizing individuals' earnings, but we also want to ensure that people are connecting with benefits specialists to remove any myths. So we're at the questions point of the process, and Heike, I think as we only have 24 individuals, I will give people just a little bit of a notice so they can mute their phone if they're in an environment. But because we've got a relatively small number of participants today, I would like us to try and unmute to answer any questions as opposed to people having to try and type them in the chat box. So we'll try this, and if it's chaos, we will immediately mute again. Okay, so I think everybody is unmuted. So if you would like to mute, you will need to mute on your end. And I will, if you have a question, just type in the chat box that you have a question, and then I will call on you. So that way we don't have multiple people asking questions at one time. So as I am kind of catching up with the chat, Sandy also provided her phone number in the chat box. So you can either email Sandy at the email address that was provided in the presentation. We'll make that available to all of today's attendees. But also she's listed her phone number here, which is 636-926-1229. And Vinay, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
Sure. I didn't jot down the dates for this summer's training.
Okay. The dates for this summer's training are June 2nd to July 12th. And it's a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 12 o'clock p.m. to 1:30 p.m. So again, that's June 2nd to July 12th, a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday course from 12 o'clock p.m. to 1:30 p.m.
Thanks, Dwayne.
You're welcome. And then again, for the fall, it will be September 9th to November 9th. And it'll be the same time period, 12 o'clock p.m. to 1:30 p.m. And the fall course is just 2 days a week as opposed to 3 days a week. And the fall course will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The one other thing that I should add is I know we've kind of been teasing the ability to do this for a few months. So if we do have any providers who were enrolled the current term, I am getting a list of those providers from Yang and Tan Institute, and our intent would be to go back and connect with those providers and let them know that if they have staff who successfully complete the exam, that we would also be willing to reimburse 50% of that cost. I just don't want a provider incurring greater costs because it took us a little bit longer than I anticipated to get this budget approved. So if you are on the call and currently completed the course in January, then please let Sandy know also, and we will work with you on setting up a process to reimburse that cost. What the providers would need to do is they would need to invoice us once the individual has completed the exam, and then with that invoice is what would allow us to generate that 50% payment back to the provider agency. So again, the normal course cost is $15.25. Our reduced rate is $12.20, and with successful completion of the course and the exam, the division would be providing back to the provider $610, thereby only costing the provider $610 themselves to go to the training. All right, Jessica, would you like to unmute, ask your question?
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear music?
I don't hear any music.
Okay, like I'm hearing music up from my computer, so I'm not sure why. Anyway, I did want to ask a question. What if we're already certified? What is the process for kind of connecting for when you guys are ready to do that?
Okay. And is this Jennifer?
Yes.
Okay. So Jennifer, does your agency already have a contract with the division to deliver waiver services?
No, I don't believe we have any. We're a Senate Bill 40 board.
Okay.
So we do targeted case management, though.
Okay. So with what we are wanting to do is increase the number of providers to deliver the benefits planning service definition. I would need to double check on this, but I believe that if you're providing case management, you would be precluded from delivering the service because of the conflict-free requirements of the community settings rule.
Okay, so I might just get, maybe we could just communicate after sometime and see if that's even a possibility.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay.
Now, I think if you were providing, if you were looking at providing the services for individuals that you're not providing case management to and wanting to build the service, obviously then that would be conflict free, and we could definitely look at that, but we would just have to ensure, that you would not be able to deliver and bill the benefits planning service while also, case managing the individual. So we can definitely talk more about that and work with and through your regional office. Jessica Mahon, I see that you had a question. I can ask it, or if you'd like to unmute, you're welcome to.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I was just wondering if there's a certain number of people that someone should be providing the benefit planning service to within the 6 months post-training to qualify to get the full credential.
Excellent question. So I am looking at the YTI online program description here. In their program description, they do not outline the number of individuals or time which would need to be completed for the file review. That is a question that I will follow up with my contacts there to get that information, and I'll make that available to you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dwayne.
You're welcome. Sandy Weekamp, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and ask your question. Sandy had inquired, how would referrals come to the benefits specialist? So that referral process would be the same process that we follow with any waiver funded service. Ultimately, the person-centered planning team would need to identify a need for an individual to access the benefits planning service definition. Once that determination has been made, then they would provide a list of options of providers who are delivering the benefits planning service, and then the individual would be choosing that provider. So it would be the same referral process that we would follow for other services. One of the things that we are wanting to do, and the reason why we have Sandy Kaiser as a portal for this, is we want to ensure, one, that we're providing technical support, as Sandy herself has previously gone through certification training. So that way she's available for any support of students who are going through. The other reason that we want Sandy to be involved in this process is so we can be developing a list of students and being able to develop a map in the future of certified benefits providers around the state. So even if someone decides to go through the program and they don't want to participate with the reimbursement from the division, we would still encourage individuals who go through this to notify Sandy so we can be developing a list of potentially certified and credentialed individuals throughout the state of Missouri to where we can work with them on capturing contract to be able to deliver the benefits planning service. And hopefully that answers your question, Sandy. Janet, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
You got it in the chat. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Didn't know if there was anything else to add to it or not. But Janet Dover's question is the training virtual or in person? If there's some location, this is a fully virtual training option. So Cornell University has done this for several years. Ray Sebula is the instructor for this program. He's considered, probably one of the top 5 most knowledgeable individuals about benefits planning. They offer this, again, it's an interactive webinar. They do have study sessions that they make available also to where individuals can break down into smaller groups outside of the actual webinar virtual training, but it would be fully virtual. And David Lamar, your comment from the slideshow, it's a webinar. And I'm assuming that's in reference to Janet's question, but yes, all 17 sessions are live training. So you're not watching a recorded presentation, they're actually live interactive trainings. Pam Denicky, would you like to unmute and ask your question, or would you like to?
Yeah, thanks. I'm sorry, I may have missed this at the very beginning because I was about 5 minutes tardy. Is there going to be a per unit rate, or is it going to be a per analysis fee for billing purposes?
Yeah, what we have written in the waiver application is this is a quarter hour unit of service. The rate isn't confirmed until CMS approves the definition. So I can't give you any additional information right now on that actual cost, but what I would say is we do have the cost higher than the other employment services that are currently offered as part of the waiver. So it would be a quarter hour fee for service rate. And in the waiver application, we do have it limited to, we do have a limited number of units within a calendar year, which this could be offered. So this really would be intended to meet that need of an analysis, develop recommendations, and not someone to continuously, ongoing, have an ongoing relationship with supporting the individual. The intent would be to develop a analysis report, provide it to the individual, to their person-centered planning team, so then they can go forward and access the programs and supports they need and or be informed with their future decisions. But it would be a quarter hour unit rate. Okay, any other questions? Tom Waymeyer. Yes, so Tom, you can either unmute Tom or I'll just answer your question. And if there's a follow-up, feel free to unmute. Tom references. Yep. Hey, Tom, go ahead.
Hey, nice to hear your voice again. It's been a while.
Likewise.
Yeah. So I know that you guys, and my question was, so you guys have done the trainings over the past couple years on the benefits and everything, and just trying to really get the people, get folks, especially the service coordinators, support coordinators, case managers, agency staff, sort of to get them into like sort of those like 3 tiers, sort of, I can't remember what you guys call them because, so would this kind of be that top tier kind of person, sort of like the WIPA folks, the real knowledgeable folks that would be the ones you'd go to then?
Okay, yep, good question, and let me, this may make Heike nervous. I'm going to go a little bit off script here and share my screen. So, I believe you're seeing a slide that says blueprint. So what Tom is asking is the division has been working with many other state agencies on developing a tiered approach to informing individuals about benefits planning. We do have kind of a hour and a half, 2 hour training that we train people at the kind of tier 1 level, which is a benefits ambassador. That's basically just helping individuals understand what SSI is and SSDI is. That's just basic foundational information to build and inform direct support professionals and support coordinators about the very basics of SSI and SSDI. The second tier in that training is called a benefits navigator. That's where individuals learn a little bit more about the work incentives, of exactly how earned income may potentially impact an individual's SSI or SSDI benefits. Again, that's a couple hour training. And again, that's just more for day-to-day interactions between direct support professionals, support coordinators with families and individuals. So this training would actually get individuals to that third tier of what we call a benefits planner. So this, by being certified and credentialed, individuals would be recognized as a benefits planner. So it's very comparable training to the training that the WIPA programs receive through Virginia Commonwealth University. So it basically develops similar skill sets as the WIPA programs, but it does not necessarily put individuals at that same level as a WIPA program, if that makes sense.
That's great. That was exactly what I was asking.
All right. Thank you. Good question. So hopefully we're back to seeing the normal screen and not my shared screen anymore. Other questions for individuals? So once again, I do know that we have short notice as it's currently May 18th. We basically have 15 days until the next session at Cornell begins. I understand that that is a very short turnaround time. I apologize for that, but we did have to wait to be assured of having the budget authority and the processes in place to access that budget to be able to support providers. But I did not want to delay this announcement, because if we do have providers who would like to do this, we would love to get them started as soon as possible, since the benefits planning service definition hopefully will be available July 1st if CMS approves this. But as I mentioned earlier, we can continue this offer to assist with 50% of the cost in the fall term, as well as the term in January and the term next June. And at that point in time, we'll reassess where we're at on capacity and whether we would continue to offer it or expand it to maybe more than one person at a provider agency. Okay, Janet, for individuals that have approved services, can the meetings be virtual, a mix of in-person and hybrid, or purely in-person? Excellent question. So what Janet's inquiring about here is, with the actual benefits planning service definition service, whether individuals would have to be in person or if the service could be done remotely. As currently written, and I will highlight that sentence again, as currently written, it does indicate that there are elements of the benefits planning service definition where the individual need not be present. So if the specialist is accessing what's called BPQYs from Social Security, if they're doing some analysis, working through the numbers themselves, and the individual's not present currently as written, that would all be billable time. But again, I stress that that's currently because until CMS approves the waiver application, there could always be changes. But yes, as currently written, it could be done without the individual being present. Okay, other questions that people have? Okay, if not, we will make this presentation available to each of you who have attended. I know Jessica Mahon's on the phone and has asked me to do a brief presentation at the Marth Employment Subdivision on Thursday. My intent would be to do a quick mini version of this, as I know the notification for this event was fairly quick, and so my desire would be to present this again at Marth to ensure that we have more individuals that are aware of this opportunity to access this support. Looks like Jennifer has written a question in: would a TCM agency be able to access the discounted price if it just wanted to have someone on staff who could serve as a resource to our clients and support coordinators, not expecting a 50% reimbursement? And Jennifer, excellent question. And yes, we are more than happy to share our discount code with anyone, whether or not we're providing the 50% tuition reimbursement. And so to access that discount code, you would need to contact Sandy Kaiser at the email that was provided or the phone number she's posted in the chat box. And then Sandy can share with you that discount code and how to go about requesting that discount code. What we will also do is provide you with contact names of individuals at Cornell that we're working with. The individual who is kind of the administrative assistant over this program, her name is Michelle Alvord. And what we would also do, Jennifer, is in addition to providing you the discount code, we'll get you connected with Michelle to ensure that you have the proper application of that discount code. Because we wouldn't want you to have to pay full cost. Okay. We'll hang here just for a few more seconds to see if others have questions. And at this point in time, if folks just want to unmute and ask a question, we can do so if you don't have to take the time to write it in the chat box. Jennifer notes that you could also try registering with VCU since there's no cost if accepted. With VCU, they do offer a free 2-week webinar that is kind of a foundations level for this course. That's something that individuals may be interested in if they're looking for some free training, but the actual certification course through VCU is a much longer course. That certification is what would be needed to offer the benefits planning service. And again, they typically only have openings after all the WIPA programs have been supported. And so I know many providers have a difficult time with being able to access the VCU program. The other thing with VCU is the continuing education is at cost, whereas with Cornell, once you pay this one-time fee and if the division reimburses you back 50%, you're able to access the 60 hours of free CEUs in perpetuity. So there really is no additional cost after you've completed the certification course through Cornell. Okay, and Jennifer says there's also no cost for the continuing ed at VCU. And so if folks did want to go the VCU route, again, that is an option. Sandy Weekamp, you have another question? And I think there's someone typing, so if you're typing and unmuted, please mute. Sandy, are you, did you have another question? Okay, maybe not. All right. If there are no other questions, again, feel free to email Sandy Kaiser or myself. If you have questions as far as the enrollment process, again, please email Sandy. But if you do have questions about the content in today's presentation, please email me. And with that, I don't believe we have any other questions, and I'd like to thank you all for your participation, and hopefully we have some individuals who are looking at taking advantage of this to where we can begin to build the capacity of providers throughout Missouri. Thank you very much.